Speechless. Those are the words of your 2025 Tour de France winner. Tadej Pogacar just a moment ago up there being interviewed before stepping onto the podium in his 4th yellow jersey as overall winner. Taking home tonight that famous blue porcelain vase that's awarded to everyone who wins a Tour de France title. Is Tadej on top, as we've seen so often this year, from the UAE Tour, his season debut, Strade Bianche through Liège-Bastogne-Liège, and then the Dauphiné, and then it quite looked obvious he would win at the Tour de France 2025. The race ended with a bang just as it started 3 weeks ago, and you were here with me along for the ride when we departed in Lille. Everyday action. Jasper Philipsen, Mathieu van der Poel, Alpecin de Koenig dominating early on. Those two riders abandoned, but it was Caden Groves yesterday winning for the team again. Several teams came home from this race without wins. That wasn't the case with Soudal Quickstep with their star rider Remco Evenepoel. Remco won the TT stage and Tim Merlier picked up sprint wins. But Remco wasn't quite clicking when we came to the mountain stages, and it was in. He called it into it on the Tourmalet, right at the base of the climb. So we were without several top hitters in this Tour de France because João Almeida, who we picked as perhaps a podium placer ahead of the race, he crashed and had to abandon, leaving Tadej to defend without his #1 mountain guy. And also Primoz Roglic, who we hoped would be firing in this race to give us our top 4 guys, along with Remco, Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, and of course, Roglic. Roglic was never there, never had that kick that we'd expect from a Giro d'Italia winner, and 2nd overall in the Tour de France back in 2020 when he was pipped by Tadej Pogacar, when Tadej started his reign in the Tour de France. Today, this was the bang you might have been hoping for when the organizer announced the final 21st stage of the 2025 Tour de France. They took a little bit of what was in that Paris 2024 road race, the climb up to Montmartre here just south of town, past Place Madeleine. That climb they included 3 times in the final 3 circuits, and we were treated to a banger of a stage. Unfortunately, the weather gods, as has been the case in the last week of this race, did not cooperate. So along with the technical climb of 1.1 kilometers and steep pitches, we had rain falling. As such, the organizer, before the riders came on here to the closing circuits, they announced they would neutralize the GC at 50K to go. The final crossing on the Champs-Élysées, where I stand here with you, and that was over. GC complete at that point, and we were treated to a heck of a race after that, because on the first of 3 climbs of the Montmartre, Tadej Pogacar goes. He follows the move of Alaphilippe. Alaphilippe's up the road. Tunison is long as well. And then we see Wout van Aert, eventual stage winner. Sorry, spoiler alert, he won here solo. What another fabulous stage for Wout van Aert. Strade Bianche winner at the Giro d'Italia over the gravel stage into Siena. And here, winning in style. He's won on the Champs-Élysées before, but never, of course, this is the first time over the Montmartre, going solo. That was on the 3rd time of 3. That first time, it really whittled things down. We knew it was coming. That was an aperitif for the 2nd time, and then the 2nd time, bam, bam, and thank you, ma'am. Tadej had helped form this group on those final steep kicks that would ride free. They left behind others in that elite group that included Caden Groves, winner of yesterday's stage, and Arnaud Delis, some strong sprinters. Up front, we had a group with Matej Morhic, we had Wout van Aert, and Matteo Jorgensen, 2 Visma riders. We had Davide Ballerini from Team Astana. Those riders were going for the move, and we were wondering what the heck's going to happen. We knew Visma was going to play their numbers, and they did. Matteo attacked once, twice, and then a 3rd time. That time it really shook things up. Matteo Trentin, who I forgot to mention was also in the group, the experienced rider from Tudor, he followed, and then we had this move, this surge with Tadej Pogacar. He said, enough of this stuff, I'm gonna attack, I'm gonna win the final stage in the yellow jersey, the Maillot Jaune, the way Bernard Hinault did back in the day. But Tadej was no match for what was Wout van Aert, and I wouldn't have picked Wout van Aert because frankly he hasn't been up to his same Wout van Aert style. But there he was, showing glimpses of old, powering over the top of the climb, and at the top of the climb, fans everywhere. Van Aert goes free, rides solo from there, around 6 kilometers here. Tadej's chasing, but eventually gets caught by the others and eventually sets up. And then over the line, it's Ballerini second, but we don't even care. It's Wout van Aert celebrating in style. Matteo Jorgensen right in his arms afterwards, helping set up that win for the big man, Wout van Aert. I should talk about a few different things because we had a party here on the finish afterwards. I spoke with our Canadian riders, Mike Woods, G. Bovan, and I saw the American champion who was on the attack so much in this race. Love him or hate him, I'm in the love group, Quinn Simmons, and then he loves. They're setting up for the final podium here, and it's going to be fabulous. Quinn Simmons found his fiance, went over there with the Arc de Triomphe in the background, dropped down to his knee, and proposed. Wow, that'll be a beautiful photo for them to remember, especially when they're going ahead into their wedding day. Congratulations, Quinn Simmons, and a great round of racing here over the 3 weeks. You really showed strong in this race, and also helping deliver Johnny Milan to the green jersey. The points jersey of climber, well, that's Tadej Pogacar. White jersey of young rider, well, that goes over to Florian Leipowitz, who claimed 3rd overall. 2nd overall was Tadej and Jonas Vingegaard this whole race. Jonas, 2-time winner of the Tour de France, will have to go back and retool, rethink how he's going to approach things in the coming years, because right now he doesn't look able to match Tadej Pogacar. Sure, if you equal things out after the 3rd week and they start off again, Tadej would probably find another way to gain more time on Jonas, who lost time in the TT stage and lost time in the Hautacam stage. But after that, he was matching Tadej blow for blow. But if Tadej wanted to, I think he could have drilled more time into him. Unfortunately, over these last Alpine days, we weren't treated to a Tadej Pogacar victory. First on Ventoux before we got into the Alps, and then on Col de la Loze, where we thought we were going to see a Tadej Pogacar win. And then even today, we thought maybe Tadej's going to win on the Champs. But no, instead he just picks up his 4th overall title at the end of what's been a crazy 3 weeks of racing, from Lille all the way down to the Pyrenees and back up here to Paris after the Alps. Fought hard all along, and we had great battles along the way. Thanks for being there with us, FloBikes. Right behind me, they're getting ready to go up on the podium. It's Tadej Pogacar, numero uno, Jonas Vingegaard, 2-time Tour de France champion, sitting 2nd overall, and Florian Leipowitz holding off Oscar Onley in these final days to pick up the white jersey and 3rd place overall. At the end of the 2025 Tour de France, over 3,000 kilometers raced around France, and rainy days in the final days, is Tadej Pogacar, the Slovenian superstar, on top.